this year's water sewer bills are being raised to overcome budget shortfalls. How do you plan on funding future budget shortfalls?
Well, I was present at the special meeting on the water system by a gentleman who goes around to different cities of all sizes. And he explained that given our information, that within about a 2-week time period, he could tell us exactly how much money we would need to raise our rates by to cover the water shortfall. The gentleman evidently wasn't quite heard by too many people on the council, because the moment he left, they were asking how much does chlorine cost, and how much does this cost, and how much does that cost. And the man, during his presentation, had pointed out to him, it doesn't matter. You have to chlorinate the water. It doesn't matter how much it costs to put the public workers out there when there's a water leak. You have to fix it, or somebody doesn't have water to drink, or they can't flush their toilet. Those costs are really, truly irrelevant, because with the system that's aging, the costs go up. It's a given. And our system is aging. Now, he also can set rates for the sewer system too. And once again, you know, all we have to do is present to him the information, and he can come back with a number. And that number for, like, seniors, for example, might actually go down. Because instead of giving everybody some freebie amount of water, like 700 gallons or whatever it is currently, maybe it's 0, and we start paying for water from gallon 1. Well, seniors who use less water are going to pay less. And those of us who want to keep our lawns green all summer, we're going to pay more.
Thank you, Mr. Stevens.
Actually, the gentleman's name was Skip, and he doesn't actually deal with the setting of the actual rates. What he does is he figures out how to equitably manage the amount of money that's needed to run the system based on the water usage and the number of accounts and the type of accounts that the city has. We asked him point blank, and he confirmed that what he needs from us or any other city that he works for is a budget amount, a dollar amount. So it's hardly irrelevant how much anything costs or what the total costs are. That is the highly irrelevant part of the equation. Is you have to figure out how much you have to spend, that's your budget amount, and then you give him that information along with the number of accounts that you have and the water usage information for the last few years. And what he does is he works that through a program that he's got that tries to find equitable ways so that someone who uses a lot of water pays more than someone who uses a little bit of water. But to say that the actual costs are irrelevant is a little shocking to me.
Well, shocking as it may be to you, Don, it's irrelevant. You have to pay the cost to keep that system working. And if the gentleman didn't paraphrase it that way, he should have. He has in the past. And yes, he can come up with the rates that we need to charge. And maybe we weren't at the same meeting.
Okay. How do you feel about small business in North Bonneville?
I am a big fan of small business in North Bonneville. I work for Gorge Delights across the highway, which is, we might not qualify as a small business anymore, but we're certainly not a large corporation of any kind. I think our location, our relatively close proximity to the Portland and Vancouver area and I-84 and major trade routes, our ability to provide high-speed internet if needed and those kind of things make us a very desirable location for small businesses to move here. Obviously the recreational opportunities and the park-like setting, the beauty of the area is a big draw. Up and down the gorge we see that with Google and Insistio and other companies of the high-tech nature that have moved here because they are able to get the smart young college kids that want to work for a progressive, successful company but aren't necessarily interested in living in downtown Seattle and dealing with that commute every day. I think you know, we have an opportunity to do that. Obviously, at this point in our time, we keep getting back to the big elephant in the corner, and that's the sewer system. We're, you know, not really set right now to try and attract a whole lot of anything, whether it's business or residential growth or anything, until we can find some way to resolve our wastewater treatment system, because it's already quite burdened, and all we'll do at this point is, you know, speed up the process of it failing.
Small business it really helps defer the amount of monies we need to collect on property taxes. It keeps property taxes down because it provides a substantial portion of the city's income. So small business is great. However, when we have essentially a bypass called Highway 14, and when they redid this city, it bypasses us. We're not like Bingen, we're not like Stevenson. They don't go right through the middle of town anymore. Half the town's over on this side. There's one turnoff. If the Chevron wasn't there with an insignia, how many people would we get to even see our lovely entrance? It's a great entrance, but you have to be able to see it. And at 55 miles an hour, I just don't know how many people see it. And currently in the CBD, or the Central Business District, we have a number of vacancies over there. And the poor pizza parlor, if each and every one of us, as residents of North Bonneville, had attended that place 3 times in a month, it still would have gone bust. We have to draw in more people to keep these businesses viable.
I agree with a lot of what Jerry's saying there. When we first moved into Gorge Delight's building several years ago, his deli was still open, some of you probably remember that. And we frequented that place 2 or 3 days a week for lunch. They had great food, but you know, the number of customers in this area was just not sufficient to keep them or the pizza place running. And that's, you know, one of the challenges we face to try and bring in businesses. You get kind of a chicken and an egg thing, where you want to get enough people in here to support the business, but you got to get the businesses in here too to support the people.
Thank you.